really important part of being a practitioner. You need to be able to look at a client history form, modify the information that the client's given you into a best and safe practices methodology of executing your technique and your treatment for them. But you need to be able to record it, because when we're talking about wellness programs, when we're talking about raindrop technique as a self-care program for a person, they need to see progress. You need to see their progress, and you need to be making a solid record of what results are occurring, one treatment after the other. So to begin the body assessments, there are a couple of treatments that we do once each time we use an oil, and there is one that we do every 12 months. There are also measurements that we take on a regular basis every session. Okay, so skin testing is done every new client coming for a raindrop technique. Measurements are done for every client every session, and plaque testing is done once a year. These are beautiful tests that we give to our clients to ensure them that they're in good, safe hands and that we've got their best interests at heart. So let's talk about skin testing for a second. Skin test all raindrop oils before beginning your first raindrop technique. Record your results on a modification table and implement any cautionary action necessary from your results. Discuss your carrier oil with your client and record the details on the modification table. So skin testing is really simple, guys. There's 9 oils in raindrop. You want to skin test 4 down one arm and 5 down the other. You want to use just no more than a drop on your finger to wipe down the sensitive part of the arm that you can see exposed in this picture. You want to label where the picture has dots, you would label it with the first letter of the oil that you are using. So oregano is O, Valor is V, T is thyme, and work your way down your arm like that. And you want to put a space between the hot oils. So oregano and thyme can be quite high in phenols and therefore can have quite a hot effect on the body. You want to space it with a plain oil as you're working down the arm, and Valor is a very good oil for that. And it just creates a wider gap. So if there is some sort of skin sensitivity, then and heat or itching, then you are able to identify which oil that is, so you can record that effectively on your modification table. Now, the modification table, the skin testing results are recorded at the bottom. So if you have a look at that, you've got the download of the client history form and the modification table. And we wait 5 minutes, guys. How we record the information is we wait 5 minutes. If there's no response, then their skin test reports nil. And if in 5 minutes they require plain B6 because their skin becomes sensitive and is finding a little bit itchy or any sort of discomfort, then we call that a high 5 response. There's 2 ways it can happen. It happens in under 5 minutes, or it suddenly happens with high intensity, 5 or 10 minutes later, like after that 5-minute mark. And we call it a high 5, high meaning high intensity, and the 5-minute mark is, before or after, but around that 5-minute mark. So while you skin test, that would be the first test you would conduct after your client history has filled in, after your client has filled in their client history form and you've done your modifications, then you would skin test them. Now, the reason that we wait until after is because you don't want to skin test an oil that's contraindicated for them. So you need to have gone through all the safety questions first and transferred all that information onto the modification table in order to establish which, if any, oils are to be removed for that skin test. Okay? Okay.